conniptions.
Welcome to Top 10 One Shots. Do not miss your chance to blow. Number 10 is from Sunpraiser, using a strategy with Hodrick that's so unique, I doubt anyone will have tried this before. He's on New Game Plus 7, which by that point enemies are more than twice as strong as the first playthrough. And he's then summoned the leader of the Mound Makers, the dreaded Holy Knight Hodrick, who is an absolute unit. Sunpraiser has planned as well, staying at a low level 40 character while completing the game 7 times, then summoning Hodrick as a mad spirit to lock on and destroy any other human players unfortunate enough to join his game. In many cases, he's completely capable of taking on over 4 opponents at once without breaking a sweat. Hodrick may end up taking the longest ever win streak in the Road of Sacrifices, and at this point, I'm not sure anyone can stop him.
Spectacular! Killtrosity! Killing jump! Extermination!
Number 9 is from Kevin, featuring a bunch of blue Eldritch invaders taking on the trespassing host, who apparently we learn consistently retreats to the illusory wall ladder whenever he gets outnumbered. While all the other invaders climb down after him, he's got a different plan. He's switching his setup to some kind of offensive glass cannon, mentioning how with low health points he will have hugely increased damage using a Morian blade and red tearstone ring. In PvP, the faith buffs are reduced by half, so stacked together it's closer to 10% damage boost as far as I'm aware. He throws out a wood carving to the confused invader watching his odd setup process, then reveals his final piece to be the Crucifix of the Mad King, the weapon with 3 random weapon art effects, but Kevin's looking for the Vexation Sphere. Timing the Vexation to trigger just right halfway through his freefall, which sends the stubborn host into oblivion. Over to Ulasil from the Dark Souls 1 Artorias expansion, we have a submission from 2 players. They're working together, aiming for the ultimate long-range headshot. The host in the Kieran armor set is to lure these 2 invaders over the bridge, while far, far away in the distance, his summoned friend, in dragon form, runs all the way back to the start. As the summoned focuses in on the bridge with his dragon greatbow, we can see why long-range attempts from such a great distance are very uncommon. We're so far away, the game doesn't render in other players.
Waar staat die Dragon Slayer?
This is a crazy challenge. Even with the item on the bridge to provide a target, the summon is essentially firing blind, and he misses his first shot.
En die andere?
He has probably one last chance now if he's lucky, so let's see what happens.
Schiet. Oh, ja, schiet maar.
Oh, je hit hem! Echt? Ja, what the fuck? Heb ik hem? Nee! Nee! Fucking destroyed him.
Advina is a rank 2 Red Brotherhood of Blood invading in the Iron Keep, and somehow with this weapon he plans to one-shot his opponent. That was an advanced chess move right there. Instead of riposting, he simply activated the platform's mechanism and dumped the host into the lava.
It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground!
Dragonborn 007 is up for torturing himself with even more impossible challenges again. He said he wasn't sure how he could compete with the recent surge of great bow glitch submissions, but just so everyone knows, I did receive a lot of clips to do with that glitch, but I eventually decided it probably wouldn't be the best idea to feature them. In this invasion challenge, Dragonborn has invaded through his red sign, and he's only level 13. He then uses the toxic buildup from dung pies as the method to lower his health, curing it with moss at just the right health point to activate his red tearstone ring and 2 Morian blades, and then additionally casting the Power Within Pyromancy. The Flynn's ring, Hunter's ring and Leo ring, plus the Dragonform Raw are his damage buffs, and he's only leveled Dexterity because that's what the Kukri throwing knives scale with. It really is impressive that he's got these kills with the knives because they are so easy to avoid. I mean, you can even just block them with a shield. And even more impressive is the amount of critical states needed to actually do enough damage. He needed to connect with the instability damage bonus, Leo ring thrust counter bonus and headshot bonus. Zelbardo enters at number 5 in the Dark Souls 2 Brotherhood of Blood dueling arena, one of the highest soul levels we've seen with a build optimized for very high damage. Sacred Oath is the miracle buff adding physical damage, and Resonant Weapon is the Hex, adding dark damage that costs 2,000 souls to cast each time, but at this level people have a lot of health. It seems very unlikely his opponent will be instantly killed. Over 2,000 damage, instant one-shot on a standard jumping attack. And the reason is the engraved gauntlets, which some of you may have heard trigger on the jump. The effect of these gauntlets is a rare chance that normal attacks become critical hits, 1.5 times the damage, and the chance of this effect triggering is only around 15%. So to have your very first attack of the entire duel be a critical hit is very unlikely. Jamie Banks is invading a group of players who had been killing him consistently before this, except this time, turns out he has a fellow invader to work with, and he's on the perfect, special, hyper mode glass cannon crystal soul spear build. Bloodlust is the katana he's using to lower his own health to the red tearstone ring and Morian blade range for the damage boost. And once he's set up like this, the only other thing to do is let his invader friend run in first and distract them. Stunning double kill on the 2 Sumbros with the single crystal soul spear, a very rare chance, but it would seem these narrow dungeon cells group everyone closer together. That's the remaining white summon taken out. And then to top it all off, he does the unbelievable twice.
That was satisfying.
A second double kill with one casting, this time wiping out the host and the poor invader as well. One of the biggest recurring jokes of Dark Souls 3 is that faith builds are rubbish. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today Life as a Veggie Miner has created a faith build that not only does damage, but one that does a very large amount of damage. And not using common miracles like Wrath of the Gods or Sunlight Spears, no, he's using the ultra cool and hip Lightning Storm, a miracle that casts an initial strike with aftershock secondary waves. Something we haven't seen much of before is the Rose of Ariandel weapon art. It's a weapon you flail yourself with and shred your skin to boost the strength of miracles. He does this at the start of the invasion and then heals up because it lasts for 2 minutes. Once he locates his opponents, there's a couple more steps. Firstly, applying the Sunlight Straightsword weapon art damage buff, then Tears of Denial, because doing it in that order covers up the denial visual effect. This now gives him around 45 seconds to eliminate his enemies, and the way he goes about it is surprisingly awesome. So he relies on his opponents damaging him enough to activate the Morion Blade buff. And the reason he can do that with such bravery is he knows he has the secret Tears of Denial safety net. Lightning Storm gets a little more than 850 AR, and once it's unleashed, it hits 3 times, over 2,500 in total, although it does go through the enemy's defenses each time separately. Since he's intentionally taking damage and relying on his enemy's aggression as part of his strategy, for this to work he uses the Vort's Great Hammer poise buff. Every single multi-kill is so beautiful to watch. It's a treat seeing a spell normally quite weak being so devastatingly strong. And on that note, you can tell it's extremely underrated because his opponents give him no respect at all. Build stats are 19 Vigor, 24 Attunement, 20 Strength, 12 Dexterity and 99 Faith. And as a lovely bonus, he's captured some streamers' reactions to facing his build, and they're fantastic.
Oh, the damage! That is the most insane damage I've ever seen.
What? Excuse me?
Into Ulasil once more. Dark Souls 1, Artorias of the Abyss DLC location, and it might just be me, but I find it way easier to tell when I'm watching very skilled players in Dark Souls 1. I'm not sure why that is. The movements just look so precise, the positioning is intensely accurate, mostly focused around avoiding backstabs, it has to be said. Anyway, this is a Gravelord session being hosted, resulting in some loose 1v1s. Kanchu, using the Black Knight Great Axe, takes out the Katarina Knight player, the host kills the other Gravelord summon, and then they duel themselves. And that's when the unthinkable happens. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we have never had a triple riposte from a parry like that. Double parries and backstabs have always been greatly admired in the past, but this is a whole nother level. I mean, just look at how they stand and look at what they've done afterwards. You can tell they can't quite believe it. This episode, we gotta give it up for the main, who has put in an incredible amount of work and passion into this clip. I mentioned before that people had found out completely new discoveries for this beautiful 9-year-old game. And here today, we're in one of the areas that people probably spent the least amount of time in. It's Lost Izalith, the Dark Souls hell. First thing to note is his character is yellow, with a very handsome face. But the yellow colour, of course, is for camouflage. I think before going into detail about anything else, you should enjoy this first for yourself. So, the beauty of this strategy comes from one of the most mysterious miracles, Karmic Justice. This miracle buff lasts 60 seconds, and if you're hit 5 times in quick succession during this time, a huge explosion erupts in your favour, damaging any nearby enemies in an act of self-defense. The huge discovery here comes from the interaction with lava. It turns out the constant burning effect from touching lava triggers the explosion almost instantly, which caused the main to create this glass cannon build using 20 faith and 50 intelligence. Once he has lowered his health in the lava enough to activate the red tearstone ring, then he equips the orange charred ring to reduce the damage taken by lava. This does mean he couldn't add the Ring of the Sun's Firstborn for extra miracle damage, because you can only wear 2 at a time. However, there are other boosting items you can use. Crown of Dusk, boosting his magic by 20%, and most importantly, he's wielding the Tin Crystallization Catalyst, because Karmic Justice damage scales off the magic adjustment of the item in the player's right hand. These bonuses, combined with the Karmic Justice Lava Trigger, completely destroy the opponents he's gravelording into his world. It's so good. And in his email, he wrote he hoped to inspire some viewers, and I'm sure he will. Next topic is going to be freaking lit. The idea came to me in a dream, a slowly ascending vision, and also descending, because next topic is top 10 elevator moments. I'm surprised we haven't done this yet. The mysterious elevator gods have always been one of my favourite things about these games, so it only makes sense we look at the community experience. If you enjoyed any of these submissions, you can go and check out their channels through the description list, show them some tender love and support. They make very entertaining content and they all have a lot of potential. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, like the channel... What? Thanks though for watching. See you next time.